Well, Max, it's something I'm hearing every friggin' day from employers. I can't find staff. Doesn't matter what industry, what skill level, they're all going, there's just no one about. Now, I'm wondering, is everyone buggered off on holiday? What's going on here? Why can't we find anyone? Why can no one find anyone?
It really are in dire straits. I'm told by employers as well that the lack of staff is the issue. But what really worries me, Dave, right now, right this very moment, there are recruiters from Australia out there touching our staff on the shoulder saying, would you like a 30% increase in pay? And would you like to have housing issues, which are cheaper housing, lower standard of living, and a good, secure future?
High standard of living?
Course, they've got to go, Dave. They've got to go to Australia. So it's not only the problem they've got now, it's a compounding problem.
So what's the solution to this, Max? Because it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, there was a glimmer of hope, I think, a few days ago when Jacinda Ardern announced that her and the UK Prime Minister shook hands and agreed that they were going to let people in with visas for 3 years and vice versa. We're allowed to go over there. I think there'll be a mass exit of Kiwis going over there. But I think this government really needs to pull finger and encourage people out here. We need those backpackers who've got some skills. Even unskilled people will be very, very helpful, but they can fill up the restaurants, the cafes, needs desperately staff, and perhaps get some productivity going back into our nation. But to attract your staff and hold them, it's going to be very, very difficult, folks, because the lure of money overseas and lower housing costs is really, really substantive. Dave, you might have some answers, being an accountant.
When I was a younger, more adventurous man, I lived and worked in the States, in Canada, and in the UK, and plied my skills or lack thereof in those countries. And it does strike me in New Zealand that we seem to attract more backpackers and go, right, go pick some fruit. Why are we not looking at getting the young, bright things out of other countries and saying, hey, come over here and work for a couple of years? Well, that doesn't, is it just me? That doesn't seem to be a thing here.
No. And look, I was on a symposium a while back where I was talking to the United States, Canada, and UK. Now, all those governments over there are now recruiting from offshore. They're actually putting out advertisements and paying for them and encouraging people to come into their country, but also they're actually trying to retain their staff. The government are. We hear nothing from this government about retaining staff. They don't care what happens to businesses. And that concerns me greatly, Dave. I think there's some glimmer of hope if it was managed well, but I don't have a lot of confidence it will. The other factor is Jacinda's also said there'll be this legislation that may allow the Brits to come over for 3 years. That might happen next year. Well, okay. I just don't know. I think holding our breath, we've seen a lot of promises that haven't been kept.
So if you're an employer, Max, what do you do? What do you do right now? What do we do today?
I would actually look after the staff I've got any way you can. I mean, financially, it's going to be difficult. You might have to up your prices to up their costs. I talked to a guy yesterday, Dave, genuinely, and he was his current employer. He was offered a new job. He went to his boss, said, look, I've signed a contract with these people. And they said, we'll give you $30,000 if you stay. Cash. Ooh. Guess what? He said, no, look, I've signed it. I really can't go. This is over a period of a couple of weeks and discussion with me. They upped it to $47,000. He's taken it. He's staying where he is. Now, that's huge. Not many businesses can afford that. This was an overseas company. Yeah. But what I'm saying to you that make a big effort, make your employees feel good, give them some flexible hours, whatever it needs and takes. Their families are coming first for a lot of these young ones. And those sort of factors, you can try hard. And if you can't, I tell you what, Dave, I'm telling the small businesses, if you can't do it, you might as well join them and go to Australia, because I think our prospects are not looking good here unless there's a change in government.
Mate, we could have a whole separate discussion on that, but I want to pick up on a couple of things that you've said there. And look, I think that, really breaking it down, one thing, pay your staff what they're worth. Don't wait for them to turn up and go, I've been offered another gig down the road, and where you end up forking out lots more money. Make it appealing for them to stay. Part of that's pay, sure, but one of the things that I think most New Zealand small business owners are not very good at, and this is more, I just don't think they think about it enough, is what's the conditions that would be really valuable to their employees? You mentioned flexibility. Can you offer them some sort of flexibility? Can you give them something that means they have greater mastery over their skills, some sort of training? Is there something that you can give them over and above just throwing more money at them to make them want to stick around?